Secret of Mana was revolutionary for me as a kid. The RPGs I had played up to that point were all turn-based experiences, which were great, and something I was totally fine enjoying. But then this game came along and implemented the action RPG battle system, and was simply a breath of fresh air. That and the fact that this game introduced multiplayer for people to play with one or two other individuals made it quite a memorable staple for the SNES RPG catalog. Needless to say, I was excited to play what I presumed was its sequel, Secret of Evermore. Initially, I was turned off by the lack of multiplayer functionality, but when I sat down and gave it an honest shot, this game ended up being as good, if not a more enjoyable experience for me. Secret of Evermore holds the distinction of being the first and only game Squaresoft developed outside of Japan. Square USA wanted to jump on the success of Secret of Mana with a new game that had a more American feel. The setting starts in modern America, but almost immediately the main characters quickly find themselves trapped in a magical world filled with unique sights, unruly savages, and unbelievable secrets. The story begins with a brief flashback that shows a group of individuals talking in secret while gathered in a hidden laboratory, when something malfunctions and they all get transported to Evermore, a fantasy world that is created based on the individual's wildest desires. This establishes the game's setting, as each world the player explores is vastly different depending on the creator's favorite time period. While there are only 4 different worlds to traverse, they are all filled with plenty of areas to delve into. Another thing fans familiar with Square games will notice is the ton of cameos found throughout the world of Evermore. It is always a nice surprise finding items, weapons, and characters from older Square RPGs while browsing the many nooks and crannies of this magical, mysterious world. The game stars a boy and his dog as its central characters. The boy looks ripped straight from a time travel flick and is a huge fan of B-movies. Most of the zany situations he finds himself in remind him of a movie he had seen in the past, and he makes it a point to call out the similarities often. The dog supports the boy everywhere he travels, and its appearance constantly changes. The dog transforms into different breeds based on the current world that the two are navigating. Initially, the dog reveals himself to the boy as a giant, fearsome-looking wolf. The boy, still trying to process the situation he is in, throws a stick to see if his faithful pup will retrieve it like usual. But the wolf returns instead with the bone, which ultimately acts as the boy's initial weapon to start the game. The dog acts as the tank and damage dealer for the duo, and players can swap between the two characters throughout the game. There are a few situations where the player will need to swap between the two to solve various puzzles that block their paths. While the dog is a strong option for beating up baddies at the start of the game, the boy will grow stronger as the game progresses. Beyond turning into a robot toaster mech that shoots lasers, the dog has basic attacks for most of the game. The boy will earn new weapons in each world, and the boy has access to alchemy, which is this game's version of magic. Scattered around Evermore are hidden ingredients that the dog can sniff out for the boy to scoop up and collect. The boy can then find random practitioners of the alchemic art to teach him incantations where he can mix 2 ingredients together to cast spells. There are a ton of spells to find that offer all sorts of abilities. The boy can sling spells that heal him and his dog, damage enemies, perform stat-boosting effects, or even alter the terrain around him. There is a limit to how many spells the boy can have equipped at one time, so players will have to mix and match to find the best spells that fit their needs. It is a lot of fun finding new spells, as they all have unique casting animations, with some causing massive damage if they hit an enemy's weakness. As the boy uses these spells, they will level up and cause more damage, heal for larger amounts, or have their effects last longer. Obviously, this system can be easily abused, if not for the ingredient component. Some ingredients are rarer and not sold by vendors, so the player will need to stock up on supplies so they do not run out when adventuring. Secret of Evermore emulates many traits that Secret of Mana used for its gameplay structure. The magic system follows the same framework while deviating enough from the previous game to feel unique and original. The action RPG battle system and ring-based menus are directly ripped from Secret of Mana. The boy can swap between his weapon and also use alchemy from the menus. Players can also adjust how passive or aggressive the other character acts during battles. Each of the two characters can level up and store charged up versions of their basic attacks. While the dog only has its standard attacks all game, the boy can level up all his weapons, except for a late game unique one, and players can set up the character not being controlled to store charges and unleash powerful attacks when available. The battle system is fast, fluid, and fun, with the hit detection feeling improved over how sporadic it felt in Secret of Mana. The music in Secret of Evermore is a mixed bag. While the songs that play throughout the game are fantastic when available, the game opts to fill most dungeons with creepy, ambient sounds rather than an actual soundtrack. While this fits the mood of each area and makes them unique, when the actual music starts to play, players can wonder why these fantastic melodies are not highlighted in more areas. The sounds of the bug muck in Prehistoria are filled with buzzing critters and popping, oozing pools of dark liquids, but when the heroes make their way to a more civilized area, like Ebon Keep, there's an actual track that plays in the background that feels appropriate for a town setting. For this game, mixing both types of atmospheres works, but one might still wish for more music in the quieter settings. As a child, I was more fond of Secret of Mana, but after constant replays of both games, I tend to enjoy Secret of Evermore a lot more. The writing blends a fantasy setting with the main character who has a positive attitude and fills the adventure with his entertaining quips. The game boils down to a story about a boy and his dog exploring a fun world with all sorts of interesting places, while mixing in characters from the real world stuck in settings that they have created. Combat is quick-paced, with both characters having a role during brawls. The people, places, and particulars that fill this game's world are varied, making every location vibrant and ensuring they fit the settings that they are placed in. While I do wish this game offered multiplayer capabilities, this is one of my favorite RPGs on the SNES. It will remain a staple on my replayed games when nostalgia takes control and galvanizes me to jump back in to the world of Evermore. This review is purely comparing this game to other SNES RPGs. Nintendo Power issue 78 has an article for this game. RPGamer scored this game a 4.5 out of 5. Would you like to record? Would you like to record your progress? I'd rather call a lawyer. That's class.